one even referring to it being stabbed in the back. Or the president could have simply called us in and given us his reasons why he was going to proceed. Instead, all brushed aside, I found out on social media on my way back from Davos that this bill had been signed. So when will we leave? When the please forgive me as well. I've also picked up the Gauteng virus, and if you're asking me why it's a Gauteng virus, it's a virus and it comes from Gauteng, and it's obviously affected my voice. There's no point in being in government if you can't govern. There's no point in bringing 3.5 million votes to a table and you can't influence the policy and direction of that government or the programs of that government. And that is what I was trying to say very, very clearly, that we regard the GNU as South Africa's most precious asset at the moment in terms of what it holds in its hands, the future of the country, the future of the economy, the future of our people. And that is why all parties to the GNU need to be good stewards and good responsible stewards of the GNU. But being a responsible steward means that you have to be a reliable coalition partner and a trustworthy coalition partner as well. So when you make decisions and you don't consult the rest of your party, the parties in the coalition, without even giving a courtesy call to the leaders, knowing how contentious the expropriation bill has been, knowing the fact that you received a 2-page submission from the Minister of Public Works with a legal opinion from senior counsel attached, pointing out the constitutional problems with the bill, and you simply go ahead and do it, and the leaders of your coalition find out about it on social media, that is not being a good steward or a good partner of the GNU. And that is our gripe. Now, I believe that we could quite easily have found a way through this particular impasse had there been a discussion amongst leaders. There's a number of options. There was nothing instructing the president to sign this bill. There was no urgency on it. We could have had a discussion about it. We could have decided to refer it back to Parliament. We could have amended it there using the GNU's majority in Parliament to come up with a bill that met all of these requirements. Or the president could have simply called us in and given us his reasons why he was going to proceed. Instead, all brushed aside, I found out on social media on my way back from Davos that this bill had been signed. And my party is rightly asking questions of me, saying, but was this discussed in the GNU? And I want to dispel this particular notion that seems to exist among some, that this administration is an extension of the 6th administration. It's not. This is a new government. It's not the same government that's picked up the reins from the last election and carrying on. The voters of South Africa in the last election took the ANC's majority away from them. The 7th administration is a coalition government. And so you can't just simply carry on governing as if the election last year didn't happen. It happened. And voters took that majority away for a reason. And they instructed us as parties to work together to find solutions for the country. And so this notion that, well, something was done in the 6th administration suddenly makes it all right for the 7th administration. That's not how coalitions work. There's no government in the world that works like that. Zianda, there were large, as I say, submissions made by the Minister of Public Works on this bill, along with a very clear legal opinion from one of South Africa's best senior counsels, indicating the problems with the bill. Now, some people are a bit confused about this because they think this bill has amended the Constitution, or amended Section 25. It hasn't done that. But what it has done is set out the procedure for expropriation to take place in South Africa. But the problem is that the bill contains 2 wholly contradictory procedures within the bill, which is going to make it impossible for any court to adjudicate should the bill be tested. And it's that concern that was raised in the opinion, and is that concern that has exercised the minister. And had we just sat around a table and had a discussion about this, we could have ironed these things out. And so we've got to move forward. We've got to move forward in trying to find ways to deal with these things going forward. But it cannot be simply a case of it's our way or the highway. And it's a lesson the DA had to learn as well when we started out in coalitions. You've got to understand that everyone in a coalition is a minority party. There's no majority party in a coalition. And you can't just carry on doing what you want to do. I mean, I remember the times we were accused of being bullies and every name under the sun. You learn within the coalition environment that you need all the parties in that coalition to help you get through what you need to get through. And you can't just simply treat coalition partners, especially the largest of those in your coalition, as some sort of numbers, number providers for your will. We take the responsibility of being in government incredibly seriously, and I think that's reflected in the work to date by DA ministers and the incredible work that they've done. Every one of those ministers going into the medium-term development plan has submitted very clear and key KPIs and ideas for the medium-term development plan about how we can grow the economy and create jobs in each of their portfolios. We want to be good stewards of the trust placed in us by the people of South Africa, and we want to be good stewards in government in the interests of the people of South Africa. And so when that is not permitted, and when it's not allowed, there's no point in us being in government. Have we reached that point yet? No, not yet. I don't believe that. I think the coalition is relatively new. But if this current trend continues of simply giving a tin ear to the views, opinions, thoughts and ideas of DA ministers in government, then there really is no point us being there. We might as well be sitting in opposition in Parliament and in the country, because if our ideas aren't going to be listened to and taken on board, there really is no point in us being there. So when will we leave? When the Constitution is trashed and our economy is crashed. Anything that does one of those two things is a red line, and we will make it very clear when that time has come. I'm really hoping, as I said on Saturday, that this particular situation is cause for a reset in the relations within the GNU, and that there will be some consideration now given to the views, thoughts and opinions of all parties to the GNU. And as I said, we're not the only party that's upset about the way that this has been handled. There are at least 3 other parties. There's 4 of your coalition partners are unhappy about the way they've been treated. One even referring to it being stabbed in the back. That clearly is a warning light on the dashboard. And if you don't attend to that problem, it's going to cause much bigger problems down the line. Thanks.